Welcome to the episode 17 summary of the Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 Sessions podcast, where we analyze Finnegans Wake by James Joyce 3 pages at a time. And hey, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Okay, so for today's explainer, we're diving into a few pages from what's got to be the most difficult book in English, James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. But you know what? Hiding inside all that crazy language is a story that's actually super clear and really modern, all about how reputation gets made and, well, unmade. Let's get into it. So the story just drops us right in, smack dab in the middle of a trial. But this is not like any trial you've ever seen. There's no single courtroom, there isn't one judge. Instead, our main guy is being judged everywhere, by everyone, all at once. The court is the entire city of Dublin. And what's so fascinating right off the bat is that the accused isn't even a full person yet. He's just a shadow, a huge outlander. This is our protagonist, Humphrey Chimpton Earwicker, or HCE for short. And he's on trial not in one place, but at a rota of tribunals, basically an endless carousel of judgment. Joyce tells us these trials are happening everywhere, in fancy manor halls and dingy back alley pubs, in pillow talk and chithouse chat. His whole reputation is being built and torn apart in every single conversation across the city. And this, right here, brings us to the central puzzle of his trial. At the exact same time, he's being sentenced with Jedburgh justice, which is an old-school term for being punished first and getting a trial later, and he's being acquitted with benefit of clergy, which was this ancient legal trick that could get you off scot-free. So he's guilty without a trial and innocent even with the evidence. It's a total contradiction, and it perfectly sets the stage for the weird, dreamlike world we're about to fall into. Okay, so now we're zooming in. We're leaving that big, abstract idea of a trial, and we're dropping right into the very real, very loud court of public opinion. Joyce basically gives us this rapid-fire poll of what regular people on the streets of Dublin think about this guy, and whatever it is he supposedly did in the park. First up, we've got 3 soldiers. And their verdict? It's unanimous. A woman got him into trouble, or souped him, as they say, in the first place. They are absolutely convinced he was led astray. It's a classic case of shifting the blame, and it's our very first piece of public testimony. But then we get a completely different take. A young actress, she feels sorry for him. She hopes he gets a Christmas pardon because the world has been uncaned to him. And this word, this is pure Joyce. Uncaned mashes together unkind with the biblical story of Cain, the first murderer. So is the world just being cruel to him? Or is she hoping he can be forgiven for some truly terrible sin? Joyce just leaves it hanging there for us to figure out. Next, we hear from a dustman on his lunch break, and he says that he and all his buddies, they all agree. The man is a cemented brick. Now, in the slang back then, calling someone a brick was a huge compliment. It meant they were a good, solid, dependable fella. So here you have it, a glowing character reference from the working men of Dublin. The cab driver, though, he offers a more split opinion. He says that in private, Earwicker, get it, a little pun on earwicker, is kind of a scoundrel, a plain pink joint reformee. But in public, oh, he's an important man, someone with parliamentary honors. This brings up a huge theme, that split between who a person is in private and the reputation they have in public. And finally, a chef chimes in with a bit of kitchen wisdom. He's basically saying, hey, to make an omelet, you gotta break some eggs. It's this really practical, almost cynical take. The chef seems to be hinting that whatever crime HCE committed, maybe it was a necessary evil to get something important done. So we've just heard all these clashing voices, all building this chaotic picture of one guy. How does Joyce actually do it? How does he create this world that's so dense and confusing, but also so incredibly fascinating? Let's decode his method. That word, uncaned, is the perfect key. It shows you exactly how Joyce's mind works. He squishes multiple, often contradictory, meanings into a single word. He makes us, the readers, hold 2 totally different ideas in our heads at the same time. And this isn't just him being clever. It's his way of showing how complex and messy reality and a person's reputation really are. And this slide, wow, this shows you where all that complexity comes from. The secret ingredient in Finnegans Wake is, well, it's everything. Our sources show that Joyce built this text by weaving together a mind-boggling amount of stuff. The opinions from the soldiers and the actress, he lifted those almost word for word from a 1922 newspaper article about a real murder trial. And he mixes that in with popular Irish songs, old Dublin shop names, Bible stories, and puns in like half a dozen languages. It's all part of the code. So, what's the point of this incredibly complicated game? I mean, it's not just to be difficult. Joyce is actually making a really deep point about how we understand each other and how our identities are literally built out of the stories that people tell about us. What this all means, in the end, is that HCE is less of a person and more of a myth being created in real time by all this gossip. He's the unforgettable tree shade that looms behind all these jostling judgments. The sources compare him to a silent wax figure in a museum, just endlessly being stared at and interpreted by every single person who walks by. His true self gets lost, replaced by the story everyone else tells about him. And that is why a book from nearly a century ago feels so unbelievably modern. Joyce's exploration of reputation, rumor, and public judgment has never been more relevant. It really leaves us with this incredible question to think about. In our world of viral news and social media, aren't the jostling judgments of other people constantly defining who we are? It really seems like Joyce saw our modern world coming from a long, long way off.